Welcome back, everybody. I got a few more tree stands set up in the past few days here. This one's really in a great spot. There's a few things I really like about it, and there's a few things I don't like about it. My access is super easy. I'm going to be able to sneak in off the corner of the field right here and get in here pretty well undetected. The issue is kind of the level I'm at here. You know, right at 40 yards, I'm eye level because I'm over this bank. But the reason I decided to go with this tree right here is I have pretty good cover in between these big pine trees. I got lots of pine branches, you know, as my backstop. And I've got 3 different trails that are shootable right here. 2 of them connect. So there's one that runs the edge of that field, and the deer run that hard, especially during the rut. There's another trail that comes off of that trail and goes right down through here. Actually, you can see it right through there. And then it meets another trail that comes from over there. And they all kind of converge in that one spot right there at about 30 yards. So that's kind of where I'm thinking my shot is likely going to be, is right there. Or it's going to be right to the edge of the field on that big trail going through there. And this is a good spot for a southwest wind. You know, if they get behind me, they're going to wind me, but by the time they get behind me, it'll be too late. I'll have them killed right here at 25 yards, or at least bleeding. So, another one done. Now on to the next project. Figured I'd give you guys another update of the food plots. It hasn't been too long since the last one, but this stuff has really grown a lot this week. You can see this is the top 2-acre plot up here, and up here where things had looked kind of spotty earlier on, you can see it's really filling out, and these brassicas are really, you know, getting super leafy and filling in all these gaps. You can just see, you know, how big these plants already are, you know, and they've got a lot of growing to do. They're absolutely huge already, the size of the leaf. There's gonna be a freaking lot of food out here. I'm gonna get a little bit more of that privacy stuff off Amazon, and I'm just gonna connect it around the base of this thing, and that'll be enough cover to sneak around the corn and get in here. I think if we have this covering, you know, that edge in the front, we'll be able to sneak, you know, in and out of here, I think, without much trouble. Let's go down the bottom and look at that piece that I planted. It's only about 3 weeks ago now. We'll see how that's coming up. This is that section I planted not too long ago, and don't look quite as good as I was hoping. Things are coming up, but you can see that, you know, the plant's a little bit yellow, like they're lacking some nutrients down here or something. Probably a little bit too wet. This ground was naturally really wet as it was, and we got some really big rains. We got I think it was on maybe Thursday night, we got 2.5 inches of rain in one night. And of course this is the lower part, so everything runs downhill and pulls up down in here. So this doesn't need any more water. You can see stuff is coming up though, so certainly don't look great, but there's stuff growing. You know, you always have the ability, or I have the ability, come, you know, a week or 2 into September, if this still looks terrible, I can come in here with a couple 100-pound bags of winter wheat and just pound it, you know, and that stuff will grow. So there's always a way to get by it if you have issues. this food plot really smells. You can tell it's really strong. Boy, look at this rape plant coming up right here. Thing is huge. It's from that tall tine tuber mix from Whitetail Institute. Deer have already been chewing on some of this stuff. Look at that. Top of it's nipped right off. Those suckers. They ate all the leaves off that one. Don't they know it's not ready to eat yet? They got another month. Holy cow, a lot of this stuff's nipped off. What in the world? Look at this. That's all nipped off. That's nipped off. That's all nipped off, the whole top of that plant. What in the world? I can't believe they're eating it already that much. Well, the good news is there's another 3 acres out here, so they shouldn't get through it before hunting season starts. Let's go check out the acre plot over across the swamp over there. Well, I'm standing in the acre plot that's across the valley from the 2 acre plot over there, and this stuff's all looking pretty darn big and beefy. There's a little bit of weed coming up right in there. Ragweed. But Nebraska is definitely going to win the battle looking at it. It looks really, really good. There will not be a lack of food over here for the deer. Still got just a little bit of wood to cut on this big maple tree that was actually cut down this spring. This is a giant tree. It had a huge canopy and a lot of it was actually dying up there, but it was blocking out a lot of sun in here, so there wasn't any, you know, new growth coming up. And it's amazing just in one summer what's happened right here. So this was all just, you know, the base of the woods with really no new growth. This was just leaves and stuff. And now that, you know, there's this huge hole right here in the middle of the woods, look at all the green new growth coming up in here. And this is all really good browse for the deer and stuff. Really good for everything. It gets the sun down in here to get stuff to grow. Even grass, you know, that was never growing in here before. I got, you know, the rest of this log to cut up right here. I'm gonna have to split some of that stuff. Looks like I gotta stand my sawtooth oak tree back up right there a little bit. It's leaning. That's the stand right there that I killed Wells out of a few years ago in 2021. He came right up the gator path right there, and I smacked him at 25 yards, ran about 85 or 90 yards back up the trail and died. This is an absolutely awesome spot right here every year, especially with a southwest wind. You know, these bucks, this is one finger ridge that goes out into the swamp, and these bucks, they travel these finger ridges right up the edge of the thick bedding. That's all super thick in there. And what they do is they scent check for does. So in this case, if you have a wind coming out of the east or southeast, that wind's coming right through this thick bedding, and those bucks will run this edge, outer edge, scent checking it. So if they do hit, you know, a spot where they get a whiff of a hot doe, they'll dive right in. And that's why you always see those huge trails running parallel to these finger ridges. That's what those bucks are doing, and that's something you want to take into consideration when you're hunting a certain wind. Think about that wind, especially during, you know, that first week and second week in November. You want to hunt the downwind side of those thick bedding areas because those bucks are going to be working them. Seen it, you know, over and over again with an east wind. Just tons of bucks cruising this edge right here. I want to show you guys my axe here. So last time you seen this, I broke it when I cut down that big dead maple, soft maple over by the plat stand over there on the creek pinch point. I gave it to my grandfather and he cleaned the axe up, sharpened it up real nice, and even welded my initials onto it. Got a brand new handle here. This thing is ready to roll. So thanks, Grandpa. You did a fantastic job on it. And now forever everybody will know it's mine. Let's go ahead and give this axe a try out. Well, we went until the chain came off. Well, let's go ahead and try out the new and improved axe here. Oh yeah. I'd say we got her. Well, we've officially got this big old maple all cut up and taken care of, and I stuck my signature mark on the stump there. I carved in my initials right there. So everybody will know who took that tree down. It's always kind of a weird feeling. It's bittersweet to cut down such a big old tree. I got this weird thing with trees, but you know, something that was so big and powerful for so long, for years and years and years, you know, stood right here in the woods, and imagine all the deer and bear and turkeys and stuff that had walked by that tree over the years, and it's kind of a weird, sad feeling to cut one down. It's kind of a life lesson, you know, even the biggest, most powerful things at some point go tumble into the ground. So there's a lesson to be learned from taking down a big tree like that. You know, it was starting to rot, and a lot of the branches were falling out, and by taking it down the rest of the way, it opened up a huge hole in the canopy. And what it's doing now is allowing all this new life to thrive. You know, all these new trees are going to start coming up, and when one tree falls, 15 more trees come up. So dirt to dirt. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Thanks for working with me, everybody. Have a good one.